Okay, welcome everyone. Um, Thanks for coming today. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're all doing well with the season change and the whole back to school thing. Many parents are back to the full agitated mode. Loads of mixed emotions here, from excitement of new beginnings to stress of managing it all, managing the schedule, managing responsibilities. So I imagine that many of you can relate. So thanks again for joining my 2.0 Friday session. I hold one of these every Friday, and today's topic is about mastering conflict. Um, I forgot to mention, I have a great surprise for all of you, live attendees and those watching the replay. I'm giving out my ebook called Chaos Mastery, designed to help you conquer overwhelmed and rediscover satisfaction in every area of your lives. So it's all on the house, absolutely free. All you need to do is DM me the word stress, and I'll send it your way. If you're watching the replay, please type in hashtag replay, and if not, please do feel free to engage. Okay, so let's get back to it. Let's talk about mastering conflict to boost your productivity and positively impact your well-being. We'll look at simple techniques and steps that you can implement in different situations. So, whether at home or in your professional life or in your relationships. So that at the end of the session, you have a clearer understanding on how to navigate disagreements and find solution, whether it's to diffuse a tension with your kids or colleagues or partner. Um, Understand that conflict is unavoidable. It's simply part of life. It's something we all encounter at some point. It's as common as siblings arguing over the last slice of pie or a pizza, or having a heated argument about whose turn it is to do the dishes or take out the trash. Differing point of views on how to tackle a challenging project at work. Conflict does not discriminate. It finds its way into our home, workplaces, and personal relationships, and often when we least expect it. We all know it. We all know that it's everywhere, and yet many of us put much energy into trying to avoid them. But why? So let's take a moment and understand why so many of us avoid a conflict. And please tell me if you can relate. First, an obvious reason: fear of confrontation and the discomfort it can bring. Worrying about potential arguments and emotional outbursts, negative reactions from the other person, or the fear of damaging a relationship, or even not wanting to hurt someone you really care about. The fear of making the situation worse by being clumsy with your words or not managing your own feelings or emotions, worrying about retaliation, punishment of any sort, even losing your job or destroying a relationship. Cultural norms can also influence how people perceive a conflict. In some culture, it's acceptable. In others, it simply isn't. Uncertainty about how the person will react, you truly never know. And for some people, it's just too time consuming and emotionally draining, having to deal with a conflict. Oh, no, no, thanks, I just pass. The belief that it will resolve itself on its own, or just avoiding conflict as a way of managing stress and anxiety. But the avoidance of addressing conflict comes at a cost. Understand that whatever you resist in life persists. So I want you to picture this. Let's say that you have tenants renting the top floor of your house, and one day, out of nowhere, they start using your garden to dry their clothes. It bothers you, and you decide not to make a fuss about it, so you say nothing. You just push it under the rug, and that's it. Now let's fast forward for a bit. On a beautiful Saturday morning, you go out for shopping and you return at around 2 p.m. And to your surprise, you find your tenants sunbathing in your garden. And again, it makes you kind of unhappy. So you decide this time to say something, but you don't want to come across as too heavy or too difficult. So you do it in a jokey way and you say something like, "Oh, I'd love to use my garden too and work on my tan." You hope they'll get the hint that their behavior is inappropriate. But instead, they go, "Oh, the more the merrier." Again, you try to convince yourself that it's not a big deal, that they just don't know how to behave. So you keep quiet. Months goes by, and one day, you come home to discover your tenants hosting a barbecue party in your garden with 20 of their friends. And just to be clear, you weren't invited. And they're using your barbecue, your tables, your chairs, and to top of it all, they're even rummaging through your kitchen cabinet because they ran out of spices. You see, so what started as a small issue, a simple conflict that you did not address, has now become a significant problem, causing you stress, self doubt, and it's all you can think about. It's all you talk about with your partner, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. You're constantly anxious. You keep thinking that they're taking advantage of you, and you can't stop worrying about what will come next, what they'll do next. Your relationship with your tenants has changed. You distance, you cold, and they have no idea why. So they continue to behave the same way, drying their clothes in the garden and sunbathing there and even hosting parties. And this unresolved conflict is affecting your overall well-being. It, it goes the same way in the workplace. We all have experiences and and experience and pleasant situation at work, like that you believe they're kind of disturbing, but from just being slightly uncomfortable, they become really, really unpleasant. Let's say that you have an office mate who believe that your desk is a free zone for their coffee cups or sandwich or paperwork, whatever they feel like landing on your desk that day. Or the one who has been working at the office for over 3 years but keep pretending that they don't know how to fix the copy machine when it's jammed, but not to make a big deal out of it, or to come across as difficult. We talk ourselves into moving past the issue. But moving past something doesn't mean it's gone. It doesn't mean that the emotion is dealt with. It's it's simply like piling it up on a shelf and leaving it in pending status until it gets too overwhelming to ignore. But how much damage will be done by then? Unresolved conflict can affect your overall well-being, both at work and in the workplace. So whether you're a parent trying to keep the peace between your kids, or a professional managing disagreements with your colleagues, or between employees, or simply someone seeking better interactions in life, understand how to address and resolve conflict is your best defense, not avoidance, not turning the other cheek. Ignoring conflict often makes matter worse. That's why it's essential to kind of equip yourself with an effective resolution technique. And I've got just the one for you. It's 7 steps so that you can master conflict. The first one is you need to assess the significance of the conflict. Ask yourself if the conflict matters to you and how much of an impact it could have on your life, on your well-being, and your relationships. 2, initiate a constructive conversation. Don't pile up negative emotion. Speak as soon as you feel calm enough to approach the person. Stick to the facts. Very important, I repeat that. Stick to the facts and distance yourself from the emotion. Number three, help the person understand the impact of their action and stay away from the, oh, you're the problem mode. Use an I statement instead of saying, you always do this anyway. Try using an I statement like, I feel hurt when this happens. I'm concerned by what just happened. Number four, de escalate the situation. Take a moment to listen to the other person, but like truly listen. Give yourself a chance to be surprised by how much progress you can make collectively when you give someone a chance to express themselves. So wait and actively listen instead of jumping into defense or counter argument. Let them have their say. Five, foster understanding and create an atmosphere of cooperation. Try to understand the other person's perspective. Show that you respect their feelings and opinion and acknowledge their view. Recognize and validate your own feelings. Very important. Do not apologize for the way you feel. Ever. Your feelings are valid. Your feelings matter. Create room in, well, that's the final step, yeah? Create room and invite the other person to collaborate by focusing on shared goals, areas of agreement. And if you follow this recipe, you can approach conflict resolution effectively and detach yourself from an outburst of emotion. Now, I'm going to go back to the tenants scenario in the garden and demonstrate how to really use those steps. First, you want to center yourself by saying something like, I wanted to talk to you about something that's been on my mind. Then carry on with, I feel concerned about the use of the garden space because it's not included in the rental agreement. Then wait and listen. Do not add another word. Then say, I totally understand. It might not have been clear, and that's why I wanted to discuss it with you today. I believe we all value having a peaceful living environment. So let's work together to ensure that all of us can enjoy our spaces without any issues. And once again, listen and seen. The situation is diffused and nobody will ever use your garden ever again to host their own garden party or barbecue. Often when conflict arise, we tend to downplay them and avoid addressing them because we don't want to make a big deal out of them. We don't want to sound complicated or heavy or come across as heavy. We convince ourselves that we're moving past the issue, but in reality, we're just storing them temporarily. It's like putting them on hold, and over time, they accumulate until they become really challenging and so challenging that they can't be ignored anymore. Only by addressing them, you can resolve them once and for all. Okay, that's basically what I wanted to cover this Friday. Remember that change lies just a decision away. Every Friday, I will be delivering a session just like this one to help you with your challenges and to go through some of the questions my clients have. And I will offer you tools and solutions that you can implement to change your habits and reset your mindset. Remember, ignoring conflict does not make them disappear. It's like hitting the snooze button. As unresolved conflict pile up, they can have a significant impact on your overall well-being, affecting both your personal life and your performance at work. And it's essential to understand that addressing conflict constructively is a proactive way to prevent to prevent them from festering, causing even more significant damage. Think of the long run. Remember, conflict resolution is a very important skill, and it can really impact your overall well-being in a positive way in your relationship with yourself and your relationship with others. Don't shy away from addressing conflict. Instead, use those 7 steps so you can find a constructive solutions. Remember, it's all about creating harmony in all areas of your life. That's the intention behind it all. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to share them with me. Okay, it's really time to wrap up. Hopefully, this session gave you the cognition you needed and proper steps to resolve conflict and better your experiences in general. I really believe that September is like the new January. It's a great time to change habits and reset goals. So if you're thinking, "Ooh, I'd love to reset my habits, start fresh, and maybe feel less overwhelmed, be more present, and go to bed with a feeling of accomplishment," all you have to do is send me a DM with the word stressed, and I'll send you my ebook. Okay, now it's really time to wrap up. My name is Matty. I'm a burnout recovery coach and a purpose mentor. Thank you for watching. And if this resonates, drop me a comment. I'll see you next Friday for another 2.0 session. Have a great weekend, and I'm sending much, much love your way. Bye for now.